Hello and welcome to another TimeXtender Tuesdays. Today we're going to be talking about SQL Snippets. This is going to be a pretty quick one because SQL Snippets are pretty easy to implement, but they can be a great way to quickly implement repeatable custom code in TimeXtender. You can add parameters to this code, so you can parameterize it, and it's very repeatable, very easy way to implement custom code across your project multiple times. So let's dive right in. First of all, to add a snippet, we're going to create a snippet. You go to Tools in the TimeXtender menu, Tools and Snippets. We're going to add a formula, add parameters, and I'm going to show you and walk you through how to do that right now. So let's open up TimeXtender. Okay, so here is TimeXtender. Let's talk about the use case and what I'm going to be doing. Let's look at a people table here. And in this table, we have email addresses. Okay, so let's say, for example, I'm going to go ahead and preview this table so we can see the data in there. Let's say, for example, there's also logon name there, but we want email. Okay, we have email. But what we want to see here is we have different emails from different domains, right? So this part after the @ symbol is called the domain. So this is the URL, the email address, or the web address, the website of that company. It's an easy way to identify the company's the company's URL or website address for a specific person. So let's say we just want to pull out the domain name or the website address for each one of these people and have them brought out here in a separate field. But we don't need to do this in one table. We need to do this all over in a bunch of different tables in our data warehouse. Well, we can write some custom code to do that, and then we can put that code into a snippet to make it very repeatable. All right, so let's take a look at how we would do that. Let's go to Tools and Snippets right here. Click on Snippets. And I'm going to go ahead and add a snippet. So we'll click Add, and I'll click on SQL Snippet. I'm going to call this snippet and name it whatever you want. This is just a friendly name. URL from email. Okay? We can add a description to describe to other people that might be using the project what this snippet can be used for. And then we need to type in the formula. This is the SQL script that you're going to be implementing repeatedly all over your project. So I already wrote a transformation that I'm going to use here, and I'm just going to paste that in. That way we don't have to go through me typing all of this out. So what this is going to do is using char index to find the @ symbol in the email field, okay? And then it's using that to pull the substring, right? So it's pulling the substring. It's finding the @ symbol, and it's going one space to the right, and it's pulling the next 100 characters. So it's scanning for the @ symbol, going to the next character to the right, and pulling that and the next 100 characters. So that should be enough to pull the entire string that has the full web address for that domain name in there, right? So I'm going to use that. So once you type in the formula, the next step is to add parameters. So we need to identify each spot in this script where there's a parameter, where we're going to insert the name of another field or insert the name of another table. In this case, this email here, that's going to be an email field. We want to use the email field, and we want to be looking at that field to do this transformation. So what I like to do here, you can use your mouse. Sometimes it can be a little difficult. It likes to select a lot of characters next to it. Like for this one, I can't really just get the email. So what I do is I use the Shift key. I click right next to it. I use the Shift, I hold down the Shift key, and I use the arrow keys, and I'm just going to select their email. And then I'll click Add Parameter. So I've selected email, and you can see it automatically identified anywhere in the script where this string for email is highlighted. You want to ensure that you're including the brackets as well. Put your parameter in brackets and include those brackets as well. Then you want to choose the type. Could be a table, field, database, UDF, stored procedure, so on and so forth. This, of course, is a field. and then you choose a library path. So this is going to store in a library of other snippets, and you can kind of create folders and put them in a little folder. So we're just going to put this in the root path here, so I'll leave that blank. So I will click OK, and we'll see my new snippet right here, URL from email. Now we want to implement that snippet. So close this down. So I have email address. What I want is a new field with just the domain. So I need to add a new field. I'm going to add a field here, and we're going to call this domain. Text, we'll use a max length of 100. Click OK. So we have domain. I'm going to move this right over next to email. And now what I can do, as you are familiar with the field transformation, we're not going to use field transformation. We're going to add a SQL snippet transformation. So now I can select from existing SQL snippets that I have in the list, and I can select here URL from email. This is my new snippet that I just created. Click on that, and you can see that script that I put in there, and you can see my parameter. Now what I want to do is I need to map in which object is going to be mapped into this parameter. So what field am I do I want to plop into this parameter, these places right here in my script? And that of course is going to be, where is that? Email address. So we have the email address field right here. We can just drag and drop that right onto object name and drop that right in there. So you can see the variant is a field name, of course. So that all looks good. So we'll click OK there. All I had to do was drag and drop that email address in there. I didn't have to write the script again. And now when I go and implement this in all the other tables that I need to implement it in, I'm not going to have to write that script over and over and over again. I just have it there. I can click from a menu, drag and drop it in. Once you've implemented the script, of course, you need to deploy and execute. So let's deploy and execute the table, and we'll see what that looks like. Great. So now we've deployed and executed. Let's go ahead and preview our data. Make sure our SQL snippet went through successfully. So now we have email and domain. So we're able to implement that SQL snippet. We can see here Toso, Fabricam, so it is working correctly. Great, and now we have something that we can use all over our project, really easy and repeatable. Another nice thing is on our support site, we actually do have a list of pre-created SQL snippets that we make available. You can download them, you can import them. So let's go ahead and walk through that. So if you go to Tools, go back to your snippets, you see an option down in the bottom here to import. So you can import, you can export these snippets, share them around with your colleagues if you have other projects in progress. But you can import the snippets right here. Go ahead and navigate over to our support site, and you can search for an article. Just search in the box here for SQL snippets. You'll find this article, SQL snippets, and it goes through a list of different transformations, different snippets that we've written, and you can download them and import them into your project. So let me go ahead and download these snippets. So we have the snippets downloaded. Let's go back to TimeXtender, hit import. We have that SQL snippet right there. We'll hit open. You can see all of these snippets in nice folders, date and time snippets. Click OK. Oops, I guess I have to select them, don't I? Select all. So that selects all the snippets. Get to pick which snippets we want. Click OK. And now those are all brought in. Some pretty neat snippets in here. One I use commonly is a date key. If you ever want to transform your dates, instead of using a date time to a date time relationship, maybe you want to use a integer instead. So you need to convert that date into a date key to do that relationship. You can use this date key transformation. Let me show you how that works. We'll go to sales transactions. That's my fact table. In my fact table, I should have some dates, and we do have this date. So we have order date. Let's say instead, though, I want a order date key. So I'm going to add a field. We will call this order date key, and that, of course, is going to be an integer. Add that integer, right-click, go to SQL Snippet Transformations, and then date and time, and of course date key. So that's going to do a convert date value to 112. This will just change it over into an integer. And then I just want to, again, drag that order date right in onto object, and I have that transformation on order date. Beautiful. And again, I can do this on multiple different tables, make it super easy for myself. Go here, order date, just add that field, date key, drop it right in. So it makes it super quick, super easy to custom code repeatedly throughout your project. Well, that's it on SQL Snippets here today. Thanks for watching TimeXtender Tuesdays.